Hello, everyone. So today can you hear me okay? Yeah. And so today I'm going to be talking about a case study. It's the Deadly Diseases Project. It's a University Museum Community Engagement Project. And really, this is all about smaller university museums and collections. So rather than the larger university museums, particularly those that aren't in receipt of any higher education museum gallery funding. And it's really just how you maximize your civic impact for the benefit of the local community. Oh, which one is it? This one here? That one. Okay. Okay, so before I get started, I'm going to just have to explain to you what the Pathology Museum is. And so we have had a pathology museum at St. George's for the last 180 years. And for all of those 180 years, it has not been open to the public. So really, our audiences to date have been our students, school groups, and wide participation. So I think in terms of civic engagement, we were really starting out at the lowest level of engagement that you can possibly get. And so it's this is a snapshot of the museum in the 19th century, and this is one from today. And so it's a really active and busy place within the university in terms of being an educational facility. And really, I've thought, since I've taken over the museum in 2006, really thought deeply about how you really combine that role of education, which is busy, with the civic function, particularly whenever you are starting out and you have to think about how you can gain any momentum. How can you start from a place where you have no funding and also not the space and the time in your diary to actually do some of these really important events. And so the way that we got started was thinking about our partners. So one of the very important things is to have external partners in the community. And Meet and Make, so you can see their little logo here, are a couple of local artists in Tuesday in Wandsworth, where St. George's is located. And there were our artists, and they have great community roots and have linked to lots of very established community areas. So they were our partners in this project. I also had an internal partner, which was the head of the archives at St. George's. So together, because the museum is quite a sensitive and it's a difficult subject matter, it is a collection of human remains exhibiting lots of different diseases. And so having the heritage of the archives as well really helps to kind of broaden the types of collections that we were bringing to our public. I'd also like to thank our funders in this particular instance. It was the New Stories, New Audiences funding from the Association of Independent Museums and funded by the Heritage Fund. And through this was a really unique opportunity, particularly for smaller museum collections, because you didn't have to be accredited and you also didn't have to have a foothold, so you didn't have to be open to the public already. So together, those partnerships were something that was really important for bringing this project together in order to help us to get started. So some of the key factors about this particular project, so Deadly Diseases, Revealing the Hidden Voices from the Museums and Archives, is that it was a very long-term sustained commitment on the part of everyone involved. And we had regular co-creation workshops. They took place not only in the museum at St. George's, but also in Tooting Marketplace. It's a historic covered marketplace where lots of local people go and collect, and there's a communal area where you can all do these types of activities. You can see that in the top picture. And it was participant-led. So over those 10 months, whenever we were working with the local community, we were really thinking about what do they want to do, how do they want to interpret our collections. And what we found was because we let the direction of the project go into in their direction, I was quite surprised that they wanted to really do their own independent research into the collection. So it turned out being almost like a research project for some of them. And I've given some pictures here to illustrate. So, for example, some of the themes, the broad themes that were revealed were the language that was used in the collections. So they were really interested in the historic language and the way patients were referred to in the past. And whenever we have a film documenting this, and the participant has actually recorded some of her reflections on that. There are also real reflections about our place in Tooting, many closed hospitals, and that sense of shared history and the people's memories. So there was participants who really wanted to look back on that and really think about their childhood and the hospitals that were lost. So there was a lot of research, as you can see here, poring over old maps and thinking about where we were. I think altogether as well, it was just a social occasion, so it almost didn't feel like work when we held these. You would have a 2-hour workshop, and you really didn't feel you were working for the afternoon. You felt that you were just having fun, and it really turned into something that was a great pleasure to do. There was a lot of creativity, and some people wanted to approach this by having creative responses to the actual collections. So, for example, this is a tuberculosis bacteria that one of our participants drew a number of the different organisms that were causing the infectious diseases that were represented in the museum. And also there was journaling. So the bottom panel here you can see is someone who has actually spent a lot of time really researching infectious diseases and that are represented in our collections, and just really just spending time in order to understand more about it. And was actually the narrator of the film that we're presenting here today. So together, the actual project stopped. It ended in February of this year. And the outputs from this, that we have an online exhibition that are based on all of these broad themes that were of interest. And also there's a short film documenting the process, which was cut from a longer 50-minute film. And the long-term goal is to have a new museum in the heart of Tooting. And I think that this is one of the things that, particularly if you are a smaller museum and you want to come and talk to me, if your university has a small museum, really happy to speak afterwards to talk about what journey you're on as well. But I think that for us, it's had a much of a wider impact beyond the actual project, because what we find is that it gives us some ability to go out and get more funding. And our long-term aim is to get working towards accreditation status from Arts Council England. So in addition to the funding that we got from previously, we've also been successful in getting funding from the British Society for History of Science and the Royal College of Pathologists, so that we can continue. And we've been running behind the scenes museum tours over the last couple of months as well. So it's been really, and that has also been an opportunity to get students involved, because the students have actually been learning how to do the museum tours and to really get involved in their local community, and to actually gain some real great skills along the way. And having this funding means that we're able to pay for that involvement. And so very much thank our funders, and also Ulia, my archivist friend and colleague, and Mead and Meg, Gemma and Jenny and Tooting, and Michael Schilling, the filmmaker, very talented filmmaker who has made an amazing short, and I hope you'll have the opportunity to view. So thank you very much.